Today I'm going to discuss the 3 steps that I took to catapult my hotel investing journey and how anyone who's interested in getting started in hotel investing can replicate these 3 steps to get started faster. So the 3-step framework that I use to kind of kickstart my hotel investing journey is a framework that you can use pretty much to kickstart any sort of journey. And it's something that I had to reflect on and think about. And one of the reasons that I decided to shoot this video now is I'm coming up on my 1-year anniversary of getting started in hotel investing. And I would still consider myself a newbie. I would still consider myself someone who lacks a ton of experience. And that's why I wanted to shoot this video, because I feel like right now I am more in touch with the feelings and the experiences that I'm going through right now. And rather than talk about it 5 years from now, when I am fully removed mentally from the mind space that I'm in currently, better to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly that I'm experiencing right now, because I have more context in the journey as it relates to where I'm at in this current moment. So the first step that I took when I made the decision to get started in my hotel investing journey was I decided to invest into education. And there were a couple of different things that I opted to invest in, educationally speaking. Those came in the form of formal classes through Cornell, and we'll talk about that in a second, as well as mentorship. So I found someone that mentored other people on how to invest into hotels. And one gave me the book smarts and the other gave me the street smarts. And both of those things were necessary in order to kind of take that next step and really get taken seriously in the hotel investing space. Cornell's hospitality school is widely regarded and widely respected as the top hospitality school in the country. And so when I made that decision, when I decided to go all in on hotel investing, I signed up for a 12-week program through Cornell's hospitality school. And I'll link the link down below. I'm not going to get paid anything, and you feel that would be cool, but I'll link the link of the hospitality program that I took. It was very informative, pretty dense stuff. It's not easy to get through. And, there's a lot of Excel modeling. You're going to learn how to underwrite hotels. You're going to learn how to assess, the P&Ls of a hotel. You're also going to learn about internal rate of return, and you're going to learn about net present value, and all of these different things that truthfully, I am sure a lot of successful hoteliers don't really have a great understanding of. I think some hoteliers are way more street smart than book smart and kind of just made it happen without really understanding some of those things. But if you really want to get taken seriously and add something to your resume that's going to allow you to get taken seriously in rooms across the country, in at hotel conferences, on your LinkedIn profile, when people research you, if you want to get taken seriously faster, going to Cornell, taking some of those online certificates, definitely something that I would recommend. And at the same time, I also found a mentor. His name's Mike Ely. You can find him online. He's an awesome guy. I would highly encourage you, if you're looking to kind of get started in your investing journey. He does multifamily stuff. He does hotel stuff. His mentorship program definitely set me on the right track to getting into investing, what Mike's program also enabled me to do. And by the way, there's a lot of different programs out there. I would say Mike's is one of them. There are other mentors out there. So I would say do your homework. Don't just take my word for it. Go out there and explore some of those other mentorship programs that are out there. But if you're going to explore, the one thing that I would recommend that you make sure that they're going to do for you is allow you to leverage their portfolio. Whenever you're talking to hotel brokers, whenever you're submitting LOIs, you want to actually have a network or someone that's going to mentor you, but also allow you to leverage their experience and their track record so that you can get taken seriously faster. Without a doubt, that is the most integral part of finding a mentor, is finding someone that won't just let you shadow them, but also allow you to leverage their success so that you can become successful faster. So that was step 1. And by the way, as I was in the mentorship program and as I was at Cornell and taking those online courses, I was also simultaneously doing step 2, which is networking. And networking can be done in a variety of different ways. And the 2 main ways that I networked my way into what I would consider success in my first year was going to conferences, so doing the face-to-face networking, specifically hotel-related conferences. And secondly, going and posting online, specifically LinkedIn. I leveraged LinkedIn and I leveraged a few select Facebook groups to post in, and those posts allowed me to meet other people that were interested in working with me because I was putting myself out there. Educating yourself without actually putting yourself out there is just throwing money away down the toilet. So you really have to do both. You have to find the time and the money to invest into your own education. And at the same time, you need to find the time and the money to invest in your networking. And by the way, it doesn't need to be super expensive. Some of these hospitality conferences, some of these hotel conferences are rather expensive. And if you don't have the bankroll to do that quite yet, then there are plenty of other things that you can do, like local meetups and stuff where you can go out there and meet hoteliers. There's AHOA, which is one of the bigger ownership groups here in North America. There's also AHLA, which is a conference that I went to. I went to the lodging conference. Last year it was in Las Vegas. I don't know. I think it's in Houston this year. But that one wasn't very expensive. It was like a $500 ticket to go, plus room and board, and you have to like pay your way there. But if you can get into some of those rooms, you're going to learn a lot of things, and you're going to rub elbows with people that can connect you with other people in the industry. When I went to these conferences at the beginning, I was very transparent with everyone that I was newer to the hotel business and I was looking to get into ownership. And when you're just like vulnerable and you tell people, hey, I'm looking to get into ownership and here I am, right? And I have, I let them know, yeah, I have a mentor that's helping me, and, we have collectively him and, his group have like this many hotels in the portfolio, and, him and I are working together, but I'm also open to other, partnership opportunities as well, because of course you don't want to like just limit yourself to whoever's mentoring you, because they have their own thing going and they have lots of other students presumably that they're mentoring as well. So you want to let everyone know, hey, I'm open to and looking for partnership opportunities, and also at the same time building a database of vendors, lenders, brokers, brand representatives. These are all things that I was able to do within a couple of months of really just getting started in my hotel investing journey that have managed to pay off in the short amount of time that I've been doing this, just because I decided to put myself out there. I was vulnerable. I told everyone that I was getting into ownership, that I was just getting started, and people were more than willing to help. Obviously, you're going to get the smug remarks and like the people that are trying to talk you out of it. And what you have to remember is that those individuals come from a scarcity mindset, and they, for whatever reason, are threatened or have some sort of reason to be put off by the idea that there are other people that are trying to penetrate this space and penetrate this investment sector. And so you're going to get a handful of people that are, Debbie Downers or people that are not encouraging. But what I found was, for the most part, there were a lot of people at those conferences that were willing to network. Some were owners and were able to give their insight and talk to me about, what it's like to be an owner. And there were some individuals, especially the vendors and the lenders and the brokers. These are all people that were more than willing to talk to me, because they understand that when you kind of build that relationship from the ground up, when you're just getting started, the chances of being able to kind of capture that business long term for them is a lot higher. So you get a lot of people that are interested in talking to you at those conferences, and you learn a lot while you're there. I cannot understate like how impactful, like the networking is awesome. You also learn a lot through the networking. So it's part networking, part educational going to those conferences. Pretty early on into my journey, my coach through the mentorship program that I enrolled in was hounding me on getting on LinkedIn and starting to post about my investing journey. And at the time, I didn't really feel like I had anything to post about. This is very ironic, because when I was growing and building my real estate team, I would encourage all of my agents to post on social media. Even if they were brand new, I'd say, hey, post a journey. And here I was on the other side of it, where I was just getting started in the hotel investing space. And I didn't want to post because I didn't feel like I had anything to post about, because I was inexperienced. And rather than focus on the fact that I was inexperienced, I instead flipped it and decided to talk about the things that I was observing in real time as a newer investor in the space. And of course, I didn't scream from the top of the mountains, I'm a newbie. I was just talking from the perspective of where I'm at today, and just allowing myself to not feed into that like inner voice that was saying, oh, you don't have anything to talk about or anything important, or you're just getting started, no one wants to hear from you. That couldn't be further from the truth. And in fact, when I started posting on LinkedIn regularly, and right now I'm posting 3-ish posts per week, where I talk about a variety of different things in the hotel sector, observations, firsthand experiences. I also post my podcast, which is another thing that I'll talk about in a second when it comes to networking. But I post my podcast, post all of these different things and a variety of different content pieces that have allowed me to kind of build a track record as an authority figure in the space, even though I've been doing this for a very limited amount of time. Now, obviously, I'm not new to real estate. I've been doing that for 10 years. And so I have a ton of experience that I can draw from already. already, and using that or leveraging that experience plus kind of like embracing the newness or like the newbiness of my hotel investing journey, what I feel is a fairly unique perspective that I choose to share on LinkedIn, and I've chosen to share across other Facebook groups. And that has actually led me to meet one of the two partners that I'm currently working with on hotels right now. This was a guy who saw one of my posts on Facebook, reached out to me cold, said, "Hey man, I see that we're in the same space. I've been following your posts for some time now, and I'd love to meet with you via Zoom and, see how we could collaborate together." When we got on the first Zoom call, I learned a little bit more about him. He's an ex-surgeon that got into hotel investing through family, and he now has 11 hotels that he owns. And when he asked me how many hotels I own, I was very transparent with him. I said, "I don't own any." And he was like, "What? That's crazy, because the way that you talk online," obviously I'm not posting online that I have hotels, but the way that I was talking about the industry and the insights that I shared were that of someone that he felt was very experienced. And so he was like, "Dude, if this is how you're talking right now, and this is how much insight you have into the industry without having any hotels, I can't wait to see, what things are like once you have a couple, hotels and a couple, maybe like 5-10 years of experience under your belt." And that meant a lot to me, because it was coming from someone that had, a decades plus now experience in hotels, and that owned a ton of like very high-end, Marriott, Hilton properties. And so it was one of those moments that reaffirmed that I was on the right track. And then later on, I reached out to him when I had a deal under contract, and I asked him if he wanted to partner with me on it, and he was open to it. And since that time, we have built and grown our relationship and added another guy to the mix too. But really the three of us are working together as a unit. None of those people would be in my life right now if I didn't like purposefully and intentionally network my way into those relationships. And then finally, the third step in this 3-step framework is simply execute. I educated myself, I networked my way to a certain level, and then at some point I just had to start doing the thing. And so what does that mean? Well, it means going out there, finding deals, raising capital. These are all things that I had no experience, no idea how to do, but at some point you just have to decide that you're going to do it. And so when I originally, found my first partner, JD, and then found my second partner, Sujay, it was very obvious that their expertise really lied in the hotel operations side of things, and where I kind of found my value proposition was really in like kind of the upfront process. So putting the deals together, talking to the brokers, acquisitions, so finding the deals, raising capital, kind of talking to investors, and keeping the unit together and moving in the right direction. That's where I found my value in that partnership. Obviously, everyone has different value propositions that they bring, but I found my value. I demonstrated it time and time again over a certain period of time, and have really developed a trust with these individuals because I decided to educate myself, because I decided to network, and because I decided to execute. I've been asked by these guys, they've kind of brought me in on different projects that they have going. So I've got my feet wet and my hands dirty on some of these projects that they're currently working on. And then we've also been working collectively on our own projects as a unit. And so through some of the things that I learned at Cornell and my mentorship program, and then also things that I've learned through other courses and seminars that I bought, I've brought a lot of value in terms of being able to underwrite properties, kind of create waterfall structures for certain deals that they have going on. Because of my real estate experience, been able to lend a hand on, some of these other projects that they have going on in terms of like talking to the city and, getting permits, liquor licenses, all those things. And so really, because of my ability to bring value to these two individuals, and then, together to our group as a three-pack, I've been invited into participating and getting equity in certain deals just because I have brought value in a way that I definitely wouldn't have been able to bring a year ago. Absolutely not. And all of that value I've been able to bring to the table because of the things that I have done and because of the investments that I made into my own education and into myself over the last year. So that's it. Even though this video is called Hotel Investing Secrets, there's really no secret to it. You just got to put in the work. Got to educate yourself, got to network, you got to execute. This is Danny Gould, everyone, and I'll catch all of you in the next video.